Hello everyone and welcome to the AI Guide. My name is Shelby Skinner and I'm the project manager for this group. The AI Guide is your ultimate artificial intelligence guide where you will find everything you need to know regarding AI and digital media. On our website, you can dive into the history of AI, its benefits and dangers, and what the future for careers in media looks like with AI as a technological force. Our comprehensive guide to AI caters to a diverse audience of students in media, to business and media professionals invested in the future of AI technologies and their impact. Our team is committed to providing well-researched information with hopes to educate and provide insight into AI. Feel free to listen to our podcast about careers in media working with AI, read our well-researched articles, view exquisite interactive media to learn more, and connect with our socials for all of your AI questions and needs. Be sure to check out at the.ai guide on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Now I'll hand things over to Bailey. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Bailey Bates, and I'm the Public Relations Specialist for our team. My role is centered on developing and executing the comprehensive social media strategy, as well as creating interactive features to keep our audience engaged. Today, I'll walk you through sort of our social media approach, the interactive tools that we're using, and how we are going to drive engagement across all of our platforms. So our social media strategy is pretty straightforward. We want to make our social media story accessible, interactive, and engaging for our audience. We chose to focus on 3 platforms: LinkedIn, Twitter, and Twitter/X and Instagram. Under the handle at the AI Guide. Each platform serves a different purpose in our overall strategy. LinkedIn specifically targets a more professional audience, like digital media professionals and others that are just interested in the role of AI in the industry. Instagram prioritizes more of a visual storytelling, and we can create content that is visually appealing and interactive to attract younger audiences, and it also encourages active participation with our audience. Twitter and X allows for real-time engagement with the community and also with ongoing AI-related topics, while also just keeping our audience updated on new content from us, like podcasts, interactive features, and articles. Our content strategy mirrors the major themes of the project. We want to break it down by key topics like history, benefits, and dangers of AI, and shorten them into shorter, more easy to read posts. So they're going to be educational summaries post that's like key information condensed down. We're also going to be using infographics, just really simple visuals that are appealing to our audience to explain more complex concepts like maybe the evolution of AI. We're also thinking about posting polls and Q&As, interactive stories to start up conversations and to have that interaction with our community. We also want to just do any new project updates like content, podcasts, articles, or interactive tools that we come out with in our project. Our goal, we want our community to be participating in this just as much as we are putting effort into this. So one of my key responsibilities as a public relations specialist is to foster that audience engagement and interaction. And here's how we are going to do. Here's how we did that. We used polls, Q&As to engage with followers. We have video quizzes, interactive infographics, and surveys to invite hands-on interaction. And then on every platform, we're going to be adding call to actions like take the quiz, explore our infographic, or share your opinion to encourage more audience participation within our community. So overall, my role as public relations specialist is focused on creating and managing a social media strategy that aligns with the overall goals and themes of our project. Our approach is to provide our audience with a hands-on, meaningful experience where they can learn and engage about AI's role in media. So thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Emily Tully, and my role for this campaign regarding artificial intelligence and its development in terms of digital media students is that of the journalist. As a part of this campaign, the role of the journalist is to help readers and website viewers better understand the history of artificial intelligence, as well as how it has progressed into the phenomenon as we understand it in today's social, academic, and political environment, which is primarily digital. I wrote an article that includes research, facts, dates, and statistics regarding the origin and the developments of AI. This includes foundational moments like the first chatbot, the first game-playing computer program, or more well-known developments in popular culture, most recently the virtual assistants like Apple's Siri and Amazon's Alexa, or even driverless cars like we see in various Tesla models. This was written with the ethics of journalism in mind, which includes citing sources and only presenting factual information that is important in terms of AI and different digital disciplines. The medium that this was presented in is a written article which includes a graphic, and that graphic is a visual timeline that displays notable dates and events relating to the development of AI, how AI started as a theoretical concept, how that concept was then taken and turned into a loose framework, and how that framework has then shifted, developed, and advanced into the phenomenon as we understand it today, with things like virtual assistants, driverless cars, or even generative AI like ChatGPT, or different aspects of Adobe in Photoshop or in Premiere Pro. In the fast-evolving digital climate, it's very critical for anyone entering the workforce or this field of study to understand this shift and how it's happening. The pace of technological advancements is always changing and is getting quicker as time goes on, so those who want to succeed must be prepared for these ongoing changes. These changes include keeping up with new technologies, understanding their ethical implications, and learning how to use them creatively and responsibly. This last point is very important, especially in terms of journalism, because the use of generative AI is directly a contrast to the ethics of journalism. This is because using AI and AI creating different stories primarily relies on the use of already published works, which directly plagiarizes them and does not give them proper credit at all. The main takeaway from the article about the history of AI is to understand how quickly these technological advancements have been made in the past, which explains how quickly that framework has turned into something like generative AI. But it's also important for us to understand how quickly we can anticipate to see further life-changing advancements. It's important to note the ethical concerns regarding AI too, like we discussed in terms of journalism, but also in terms of digital media in general, as well as the impact that this development will have on those who want to work within these different digital disciplines, whether that be media, technology, or something like mechanics. In order for someone to successfully establish themselves in a digital industry, they have to be aware of the ever-changing climate, how that will present in social, academic, and career settings, and how those structures will subsequently change. By choosing to present this information in the form of a medium that very well could be created using artificial intelligence, but instead using media that was created by human intelligence, the intent here was for the viewer to understand and empathize firsthand the implications that AI puts on digital industries and digital creatives, and how it could affect them, their studies, and their careers going forward.
I'm Tessa Tichenor. I was a media editor for this project. And besides the overall stuff that we all worked on with brainstorming ideas, bouncing the ideas off of each other, as well as the assignments that we've done so far this semester to prepare for the project, such as like audience analyze and stuff. Here are some things that I'm working on individually or have worked on for the project. First, I wrote one of our articles for the page. I wrote about how AI can be beneficial. I talked about how AI can be good for cybersecurity and task automation, among other things. I made some media edits to help Bailey with filling our pages. These are based off of my article. So one talks about AI being the new assistant and how it benefits companies, and directs it back towards the website to read more. The middle one talks about AI and cybersecurity, and says basically that it's used in everyday life, and to check out the website to read more about how AI is being used to improve and how it affects you day. Last one is empowering the future with AI, and that just lists the benefits. That's kind of an overall post, and then it also redirects back to the website. And the last thing I'll be doing individually is I'm one of the people going to be interviewed for the podcast. So talking a bit with Ariel about the questions, it's mostly just going to be me answering them, and very little discussion about how they sound, if we need to redo any of them, or format them differently, why she's asking them or why I'm answering. But that's it for me.
Hi. For my part of our project on AI, I was in charge of our interactive media. With this, I made a couple of things, and I'd like to go over those with you. So first, I made a genially that resembles a Google search because I thought that would be interesting for our audience to look at on the website, and it added a bit more fun to the interaction. So to use this, you'll just hit this little search button to start, and then that'll take you into it, and you'll see our little different subtopics right here. So first, let's look at the data privacy. So this one, I talk about large language models and how AI chatbots and virtual assistants are used in AI and the troubles this is causing, and then how we can combat this. The next one is environmental harm. So in this page, we'll go over the carbon footprint that is caused by AI, and you see the ways to combat it on the right. The next one was intellectual property infringement. So this is talking about stealing from creatives and how AI is mimicking artists' work and copying their styles without giving them credit. Next, we have the techno-solutionism, and this is AI's decision making and how it leads to biases and is infecting the people who are using AI for things like buying things like Amazon. I talk about that. The next one is disinformation. So this is the potential threat that AI is to democracy because you can create a lot of deep fakes and online bots that seem real and can trick people into thinking that things are real when they're not actually. They're just made to look that way. And then the last one is lack of trust. There's still a lack of trust between the consumer and AI companies and what it takes to make AI as effective as it is. All right, and then that's our genially. And then next, I also created a survey. So this is just a quick 3-question survey you'll see here. And it's just aimed to gauge people's thoughts and opinions towards AI. So the first question is just, what is your experience level with AI? Just so that we know when we're looking back at these results, just how familiar people are with it or not familiar, and how they feel. So if someone very familiar is uncomfortable with AI, it would be more understandable than if someone who's not familiar with AI but just knows about the danger, so they just think it's dangerous and don't want to get to know it. So we'll just get a sense of if there's a correlation between people being familiar with AI and thinking it's dangerous, or people not being familiar with AI and thinking it's dangerous. And then the second question, just simple, do you think AI is dangerous? Yes, no, or no opinion, because some people just might not have an opinion since they're not familiar with AI. So we just want to keep that option just in case so that it doesn't throw off the results if they just don't have an opinion about it. And then this third one, it's just what needs to be done to improve AI, and it's just one people can type in themselves just to get their own thoughts, and then that lets us see people's actual thoughts more than just the simple yes or no, or are they familiar or not familiar. And then the third thing I created is just a quiz is an interactive video, and I use this video of a TED Talk that talk where someone who works in the AI field is talking about how AI is dangerous, but not for the reasons that you would immediately think. And she goes into great detail. And I just added some questions in there to help keep my audience engaged. And it's just a really interesting video that teaches you a lot. So you'll just see these questions right here. So we have a poll question just about talking about will AI end humanity. If you watch the video, you'll understand more about that question. The second question is, how many times could you drive around the planet to equal the carbon dioxide output from training an AI model? She goes into that within the video, and it's very interesting to learn and hear her talk about that. And then the third question, just a poll of should we limit the tasks that AI is used for? The fourth, it's an open-ended question, just should artists be allowed to sue AI companies for copyright infringement? And then five, another poll question, should AI be used by law enforcement? So that just goes into detail of some law enforcement agencies have begun to use AI and facial recognition and things like that. So it's just, should AI be used for those kinds of things within law enforcement, or is that too dangerous to trust in the hands of AI? And then the sixth question, could AI worsen people's biases? As we've looked at in our quiz is, AI does create biases and will feed back your biases if you're feeding it biases. And then the seventh question, this is the last question, just is AI dangerous? So just after watching the video and being more informed for those who maybe weren't informed about AI or those who were informed about AI, just to garner what they think now after learning some more information and facts they might not have known yet about AI. So I feel like these are some interesting interactive media things for our website and socials that will help educate our audience while also garnering their opinions and seeing how they feel AI is dangerous and just spreading information about the dangers of AI and why they should fear it, but also why they should still see the potential in AI, just that some of these issues need to be fixed and looked at when they're using AI. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ariel McCarty, and for my role in the group, it was to create a podcast. So the process of creating a podcast, the first thing you need to do is pick a topic. Obviously, our topic is AI, and more specifically, I focused on AI and the way that it is and is going to continue to affect jobs in digital media. So I did a lot of research on that. That's the next thing that you want to do when creating a podcast. Lots of research goes into it. Next is a script. I think a lot of people, when they think of a podcast, they think of just people having a conversation, but really you need to have at least an outline of what you want to discuss, so as to stay on track and keep the conversation moving. and then of the recording and editing process as well. Most of my research had to do with AI and its presence in digital careers. I heavily focused on the pros and cons of AI and what AI would do to affect digital careers in the future, and basically I focused a lot on how we can use AI in a beneficial sort of way and not just the negative effects that could happen. One of my favorite articles that I read when doing research was called "Will AI Really Take Your Marketing Job? Here's What You Need to Know," and it was by Mike Alton. I thought this article was really helpful for me in my research, and I think it had really good insight into what AI is and what it will become, and it provided good examples in ways that AI can be helpful in digital careers rather than just harmful. The script, like I said, is a big part of creating the podcast. So I created an outline. It's important to be well informed on your topic and to keep the conversation moving. Here I included a little insert of my intro that I'm going to do with the podcast. The recording and editing process. So I use Audition by Adobe and Teams for Microsoft. Both my voice and the interview portion need to be recorded, obviously, but since I'm doing an interview, I wanted to use Teams. I thought that would be the easiest way to get all of our voices and be able to edit them together. I do all of the editing in Audition through Adobe. That's also where I record my portion of the podcast, the intro and the outro. The great thing about Audition is that you can use it for basically every part of the podcast. You can record and edit all in the same software, and it makes it really, really easy. But if you are in a position where you're interviewing someone, doing a podcast with someone who isn't in the same room as you, it is easier to use something like Teams so that you can get everybody's voice. And the interview portion, these are some of the questions that I plan to ask the person that I'm interviewing. Things about the people that I'm interviewing are all people who plan to have careers in digital media, and it's going to focus on, their worries, their doubts, what they expect could happen with AI and their digital careers, and ways that hopefully they can use it to benefit them. Thank you so much for listening.
To conclude, artificial intelligence is an ever-changing technology that holds the power to produce an efficient and intriguing future for digital media. The main question is, how much power is too much? The AI Guide aims to answer just that. Through our informative articles, social media posts, engaging interactive media, and podcast, we hope to educate media students and professionals on AI in the digital media landscape. Our team is dedicated to the continuous fight against AI when jobs are put on the line, though we are also advocates for the proper usage of AI and how it can be beneficial to us all. Please stay connected with us through our social media accounts at the.ai-guide to receive future updates on all things artificial intelligence. I hope you've enjoyed our presentation, and my team and I look forward to sharing our website with you all. Thank you.